And now, it's Boomer Life, lifestyle discussion designed to make your life more engaging, meaningful, and complete. Celebrating the baby boomer generation, this is Boomer Life on CIL 650.
No, you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Welcome to Boomer Life on CIL 650. I'm George Gordon. Boomer Life, a celebration of the boomer lifestyle. On Boomer Life today, we're breaking a lot of the myths about retirement living with Shannon Oaks. It is a Baptist housing, seniors, independent living community. And joining us today, Jillian Fullerton, who is part of the Boomer Life team, if you will, at Shannon Oaks. And she, of course, is with the parent company. Thanks for joining us today.
Wonderful to be here. Thank you, George.
Well, now, our theme today is don't leave it too long to get into independent living. And that's not a threat or warning. It's just you could be missing so much and having so much more fun and so much more quality time if you look into this sooner than later. So
that's the key word that you said is quality.
Quality.
It's quality of life that you're enhancing your life by making that move sooner rather than later.
Right. And we're going to help you today to find out how you can investigate this, how you can get help, and maybe make that step that'll make your next few years brighter and better.
That's right.
Okay, so now we've come through Christmas.
Yes.
And New Year's, festive time.
Wonderful time.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Tell me about some of the families who moved in and when their children come to see them. Was it a good? Were they part of the celebrations?
Oh, they certainly were part of the celebrations. One family actually hosted their Christmas dinner in our private dining room. So they booked the private dining room, and that's all complimentary. They can do that. They had Christmas dinner, so they were. I mean, it was just wonderful. They were so exuberant and about telling me how excited they were to have it. The resident herself was so happy and so proud to be able to showcase the place she lived to her whole family. It was lovely. There was 14 members there.
Wow, that would be and you have a room that'll handle that size?
Yes, we do.
That's wonderful, and I guess you can book that in advance.
You can book that anytime you like.
Isn't
and
that
it's
great?
all complimentary. You can book that and order Chinese food if you want to.
All right.
You can book that and we can cater it. It's your room to do what you want. It's your dining room, basically.
Right. Gives you a sense of entity, like this is my home,
Yes.
part of my home. Welcome
That's
here.
right.
And yes, a chance to show off to the children, like this is what I've got.
That's right.
And
kids love to come, little kids especially. We have a whole kids area with all sorts of toys and television and games that they can play. And occasionally I'll come out of my office there and offer them some sweets.
little bribery never
Little
hurts.
bribery, that's
little
right.
carbon. Yeah.
There's one little 5-year-old that would like to come and live there now.
I see.
He belongs to a couple that lives in one of our 2-bedroom suites, and he's there enthusiastically. After Mom drops him off, he's a great-grandchild, I should say.
Wow.
Yeah, loves it there.
Now, I wonder if you could tell me perhaps a story about, or a couple, if you wanted to relate about the families who've come in, they've seen their parents and said, "Oh my gosh, what a difference in them!" That perhaps they were before they had made that move to Shannon Oaks, that they were, nobody loves me anymore, nobody calls, nobody really cares about me anymore, about the difference in their quality of life and their quality of friendship after that.
They were hesitant to begin with. They didn't know if they were going to make that step. Even the family was unsure too. Mom and Dad, I'm thinking of one couple particularly. Mom and Dad were quite happy. They lived in Richmond. They were quite happy in their home. But there was a sense that they were getting more and more frail, and that Dad didn't have too much to do. Mom had her social network, but Dad was just sort of going downhill a bit because his social network had somehow dropped away. So they made the initial inquiry to Shannon Oaks and to other places as well. But they came back to Shannon Oaks and came back again. Invited them for a trial stay. They said no to the trial stay. We offer a complimentary trial stay. But then they said, okay, let's take a look a little bit more. Then what we did is there was a special 2-bedroom suite that came up. We were able to offer it to them. They have been in there since, just a sec now, I think it's since November, maybe, shall I say, maybe October. And I just heard the other day how happy they are. I phoned a friend of theirs, and she said, I have spoken to the wife. She is completely happy because husband is now meeting more men. He has more to do. She is happy because he is more content. She is happy because she is able to invite her friends over. Her birthday happens to be today, so she's having a whole new
Wow.
event around that.
And how old is she?
That's not the one that we were talking
Uh,
about earlier.
yeah.
She's not 100. This one is 90.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's just she's having a celebration today with her family, inviting friends in. It's more of her home now. I went to their home and actually measured their furniture, and then laid
Well,
it out.
back up. You go to their homes and and help them decide if they
Oh,
can move.
sure, sure. I walked into their home, beautiful home, lovely. Anyway, she said, I would like this piece of furniture, that piece. Can I take that? I said, let me take the measurements and I'll tape it out with painter's tape on the floor of your new apartment. And then you can come in with your daughters if you like and decide if you like it, if you think it's too crowded. They certainly came in. I had it all taped up. It took a little while, but had it all taped up. Huge, big coffee table they had, 2 love seats and things like that, and big bed, and I don't know how many rocking chairs they had, lots. And anyway, we fit them all in, but they rearranged it a little bit more comfortably how they wanted to, and that was fine. I mean, it was a good experience. She felt more at ease having done that.
A couple of points that, as you've been talking here about the husbands, uh,
Yes.
is that come from the sort of like the old tradition where the man was out working, his work life was the the
Yeah.
people that he knew there, that was his life,
You're
that
right,
was his
George.
social network.
You're right, George. And it falls away once they retire. Maybe they carry it on a bit when they retire, but maybe, men were not living as long as women, so there's fewer men. Women always have had that social network. They've always had to. They were the social maitre d' of their family, shall I say, and they, cultivated those connections. But the men didn't do that. That wasn't their role, and maybe that's changing. Hopefully, it is. And now, so it's important for men to have that outlet. And we have a men's billiard night there, so they can play billiards, and they get a little competitive there. The men do join in with our carpet bowling. We have teams in carpet bowling, and they're very good at that. But we make sure that the men have a opportunity to meet other men and engage with other men, which is important to do for their own well-being.
Wow, pool sharks, that's what you've got there.
We do indeed.
Another point that you made about arranging to have some of their furniture, their wall hangings, and so on be
Yes,
brought into their environment.
yes.
I guess that goes to show, and maybe they realize it after the move, that the building, that house that they lived in, it perhaps it wasn't the house, those walls, but what went on it and the memories contained
Oh,
within.
it's so much the memories that this is where so and so took her first steps. This is where we shared a birthday party here, our family dinners around the dining room table. And I just say, well, why not take a picture of the dining room table? Why not bring a picture of that family event around the dining room table? And you can have it there. Pictures are big. Um, a lot of our residents have a whole sort of gallery of pictures in their suites when they move in,
Mhm.
which is good. I mean, it just brings those memories. You remember events, you connect them with those pictures, and I really respect that with it. The whole thing that we're talking about here is making that change of moving from the home into a retirement community. And the difference of in your home where you are there, maybe with your spouse, maybe alone, you know, and the contacts that you don't have or did have and don't anymore. Maybe your neighbors are looking out for you a bit, but maybe not. Maybe your children are living far away. And so there's an isolation factor. When you move into a retirement community like Shannon Oaks, you have a whole array of new friends. You are meeting new people. In fact, there is a lady that moved from east, shall I say, I'm not going to say the city, and she moved into Shannon Oaks, and she was really reluctant. I had been talking to her for over a year on the phone. She has family out here, but she eventually moved here. eventually, and I thought she's going to be a challenge because it's hard. I respect that it's a hard move. She made that move. She's now got a new male friend, and she's a happy camper. Yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, yeah, new relationships happen, and why shouldn't they?
And your location again, the Shannon Oaks is where? It's in the
Southeast Vancouver, in the Killarney area of Vancouver. It's It's on Waverley, which runs parallel to 49th. 49th and Elliott, 1 block north. 49th and Elliott. There's the Killarney Market right there on the corner, a bank, a Nova Scotia Bank, a Starbucks, a gas station, and you turn north, and you're on Waverley, and that's at 49th. It runs parallel Waverley. It's Elliott and Waverley. We're right there.
Wow! So it's accessible from not just the greater Vancouver area, but people are coming in from, say, the East End or from further out in perhaps the Lower Mainland. It's so easy to get to.
Very easy, and we've got transportation there. We've got the 29th bus right on Elliott, takes you to SkyTrain. We've got the 49th bus that takes you to Metrotown or to UBC.
All right. Look, I know that we've got a little bit behind what we're going to talk about, but this is so important. When we come back, we're going to talk about living at Shannon Oaks. The difference between having employees who take care of people there and having family. That's an often loosely used word, but it is very important, and it is a word that and genuine when it comes to the attitude of staff and how they feel about the people who are living there. You're on a team. You are part of a family.
And we don't call it staff. We call it team.
There you go.
That just the whole tone that is set. We are a team that works together, and our residents are extended family.
Great. When we come back, we'll talk about the 3 key areas of residence as defined by the local health authority. That's some of the official stuff. And we'll talk about some of the portrayals of living in a home and that perhaps have been incorrect. Coming up, some of the reasons why moving into retirement living is the most important thing you should be considering before you waste any more time in many situations. You're listening to Boomer Life on CIL 650. I'm George Gordon. With me today, Jillian Fullerton, who is with Baptist Housing and a team member at Shannon Oaks. We'll be right back on CIL 650.
Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CIL 650.